This time on Blake Builds. The roller goes wrong. The dumper goes wrong.
Pathetic.
And the roller goes wrong again.
Now, sorry, not swearing, are we? Oh dear, what a chore.
There was a storm coming, but then it passed and the weather was much better. Follow us as we go through certain steps in order to concrete the front of building 1. The first part of the process, drainage. Like all things in life, you have to start from the bottom up, so we have to go with the deepest part of the site or that element first. So we're on to drainage. Take it away, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
Hello Luke, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. How are you, more importantly?
I'm alright, very good for a Monday. We're dry, it's not raining, sun's out, and things are going well.
Excellent. And what are you up to?
We are on to the rainwater drainage. So we're putting in the underground pipe that's going to take all the water, the rainwater from building 1's downrights. Nice. So they come all along the front of the building. There's 3 manholes. They've got various connections coming in. So I think it's three downrights that they'll be taking, and then there's an eco drain that goes across the front of the whole building. And that's a deep run behind you, which connects into the deep drainage we did the other week. So yeah, this all goes to the rain harvesting tank that way, and the ACOs goes to the oil separator, obviously, to clean out all the water from all the vehicles running on the yard. Yeah, it's quite shallow drainage, as you can see, so we don't need all the protection and stuff that we had the other week, so it's a lot easier to do, a lot easier to handle, and it's smaller pipe as well. So we put a little stub coming out of the manhole over there, which is one of the deep ones. We're waiting to connect that up, but we've lost the connection pieces that go on the end, so we're just trying to source those, and then we can connect that bit through. But we buried it in plenty of gravel, so it was easy to find. So that's all gone well, really. Ollie's got it all set in the eye-dig for the heights of the falls, and then yeah, we're putting 4 inch of gravel in the bottom, and then laying the pipe on top, and then burying it in gravel.
So we've just put a rainwater, the drainage for the roof of building 1 in, which is behind us. That's what these new manholes are. And we are now backfilling the trenches carefully. Ben's on the roller. We're building it up in layers, and very shortly you should see a spread type 1 over all of this area ready to concrete. So we've got to put the 350mm of type 1 on it and compact it in 150mm layers. We probably won't do as much as 150mm, we're a little bit shorter than that. And we'll do several passes with the roller, spread it all over. So it's just, keep rolling at it, literally. We've had 4 lorry loads of type 1 this morning, 30-ton lorry loads, and we've got 1 more this afternoon for today. Calculation says we should need between 300 and 400 tons of type 1 for this area, which is horrendous. The building has arrived and is behind us. It's a bit like Christmas when you've got presents under the tree and you're not allowed to unwrap them. So it's beautiful, painted black, all ready to go. So me and Evan have just got to work out how we're going to put it up yet.
Hello, sir. Is it working all right?
We're only allowed to film good moments.
It is a good moment. It's operational.
Yeah.
Is it all right?
Well, no, it's all right. It's running.
Is it not vibrating?
No, it's fine. The fuel solenoid had melted. Quite a common thing. So it's a fuel shut-off solenoid
Right.
on the fuel pump.
Oh, right.
So it would run for a few minutes. It would actually get hot and melt, and then it would shut off.
Bloody hell.
But I rung a few different people and couldn't get one, so I've actually broke it open, took it all apart, took the spring out of it, drilled the pin and put a bolt in the back of it.
Yeah.
So now it's manual stop. So if you switch it off, nothing happens.
So it's a temporary fix?
Temporary fix. Matt's actually managed to find one now at BTE plant.
Yeah.
So he's shot off to get one. But I'd done it before Mac. I only rang Mac because I couldn't find the bit.
Yeah.
And then, if he knew any suppliers. Yeah, so there's this bit here. You see that bolt?
Oh, yeah.
That had this wire was plugged into it.
Right.
So now to stop it, it's dodgy as hell. You have to put your hand in there, watch that fan because it'll chop your fingers off.
Yeah.
And then you just push that bolt in.
Ah, okay.
And that stops it then.
Job you know what you're doing, innit?
Wow. Sometimes it's get out of jail, innit? That's the thing. So,
Yeah.
so we're out of jail and we're rolling.
We're rolling. Work continues.
Work can continue. Yeah, we've got more stone coming. We are levelling and compacting this in 150 layers. Ben's doing what I want to do. Ben's using our grading beam to level the Type 1 off and the iDig to get the level right. So you can actually see there's a fall angle on this when you look across it, look.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get this a little bit better. We've got another 100mm, believe it or not, to go on here. So, 3 inch. But that edge where the curb edging is going is about there.
Right.
So tomorrow there'll be concrete with which will be relatively stiff for putting the curb edging in. Concrete lorry will come along and put it all down the edge there for us nicely.
Is it a case of we've been here before?
Chances are you've been stood there.
I've rigged it, mate. I've rigged
Yeah,
it
I reckon you have.
for the drama.
Absolute bastard. Well, it's the other end, isn't it? This is the end I
Oh,
repaired and
God.
welded up,
Well,
and that's the
still-
other end.
still going
so
strong,
if you
your
want a job
repair.
doing, you have to do the yourself, don't you? Sorry, my language. You have to do the darn thing yourself. Well, I don't know who the hell welded them on there, but they want fonging. Pathetic. Oh well. We're done in a trice.
Yes, mate.
So you may have seen I've already repaired this ram, but I have repaired this end of the ram, not the chocolate end that is the other end. So I'm going to weld it back on. So first order of the day is to clean your end, always keep your end clean, prep it, and then I'm going to weld it back on. But we've got a battery powered welder, so I'm going to weld it in situ. Lots of stuff going on in the background. As you may have guessed, it was loaded when it snapped. So we've been greasing everything well and truly to make sure it lasts well. So yeah, look how poor a weld that is. Bloody hell.
So that looks like a bolt hole there. It's not that a bolt's come out. It was actually just welded on.
Yeah, it's just a pin. It's I think it's a partial grease nipple hole.
Right.
So they'd have probably manufactured them with the holes in them all round them,
Right.
ready to take a grease nipple and you just finish them off, I think.
Got you.
So I'm degreasing it, and I'm going to clean it off with the grinder in a sec, and then weld it back on.
God, you got more than one dumper, eh?
Fuel solenoid on the roller this morning, and then this. It's the beauty of having your own kit in it, I suppose. You have to look after it and maintain it all the time. So just cleaning the old weld off, look,
Oh, yeah.
so that I can get a half decent, or stand half a decent chance of welding something better on there. But I can't understand why it's had such a poor weld on it before. It's that end was like it. So, what happens is when it's on full lock round and it's at full articulation, all the strain goes on that ram. If that makes sense, because I dropped in that.
You'd expect it to go like on the bund or something, wouldn't you?
I think because it's come through that difference in that, it's so acute, look. It's so poor a weld, look. You see all that splatter in it. They never
yeah.
cleaned it off properly when they welded it. This is stick welding, or MMA, manual metal arc. So the basic welding principle is, this is your electrode. So you've got a bit of wire in the middle. This is actually the wire here, but that's all the way through the middle. And this is a cover element. So basically that melts over the top and stops the air reacting. So when you're welding, you need to stop the air reacting with, when you melt metal, the air makes the weld react, it oxidizes. So you cover it, this melts over the top and covers it. So when you look over here, that looks terrible, doesn't it? If you look at that, but that's because it's got the cover on it. And if I tap this in a second, that is actually the weld underneath. It looks bad at the moment, but I'll build it up a second.
does the bashing do?
So that's what you call slag over the top. That's the cover.
Oh, you're breaking that, yeah,
Breaking
I see.
off. Look, can you see here now?
Oh, yeah.
I've built the weld up now, so there's weld there.
Oh, real. Tidy. Right, smoking.
Yeah, it's hot, really hot, because obviously I'm melting metal, aren't I?
Not my best work. Not my worst work. Just going to grind this a sec. Oh, bugger.
Can I have a little bit of a push with the digger? I want you to track down here and push that far side this way. Yeah, because at the moment it's like that, and I want it to go like that. It's over travel that I can't get the ram back in. So at the moment it's like this, which is further than the length of that ram. So yeah, go on. I don't know whether you'll do it with your rotation. You might have to push it under control the other way. A little bit more. Go on. Go on. Lovely, that'll do. Thank you. Right, Nobby, I need you to do a bit of driving. Can you get up there for me? Yeah. I want you to turn the wheel that way. That's it. When I say stop, keep going. Keep going. Woo! Bit more. Woo! There you go, pin back in. Watch it snap off as I pull away. I'm sure it'll go alright. Okay. So we'll put this line of stakes down here. This is going to be our curb edging divide between the concrete of the service yard and the permeable paving is this side. So we've put stakes directly down on the line. If you look up there, Luke, you can see, yeah, if you go right across them, you'll see how beautifully in line they are.
Oh. Beautiful.
And then we are now setting the height. So we've painted the stakes, the laser is set to the finish height, which is 35.8 metres above sea level. Cool. Never really done a project to sea level, have you?
No. Normally you set a datum on site, don't you?
Yeah,
that's
you
set 0, and then everything else refers to
so that
point.
The top of the chamber we put in earlier is now a datum. There's a datum on the fence line that was put in by the surveyors, but in that band between those two marks over there, 35.780.
Yeah.
That's exactly 35.780 metres above sea level.
What is the actual datum then? What is it? A physical? What is it?
There's just a
receiver,
pin.
or?
No, there's just a pin that the surveyors put in for me, and that's exactly at 36 metres above sea level. Right. And 36 metres above sea level is what the finished floor height is of the warehouse, right. And the concrete that we're going to put in will be at 36 metres that side, just shy, and that's going to be at 35.8. So all the water, all the rainwater, will fall off of this and run into our permeable paving, which will be in there.
Clever stuff.
Clever stuff indeed.
So we're going from high technology back to age-old.
String lines and
Yeah.
tape measures.
So just run down it with a string line and loop it round on each mark, and then that will set the finished height. And then tomorrow we're going to run down here with concrete, which will be stiff, semi-dry concrete all the way down it.
Some curbing mix.
And yeah, curb mix. And we'll set the curbs then, and the top of the curb will be set to the string line, and then we'll haunch, which means to like build it up either side of it all the way down it.
Any challenges involved with that tomorrow?
Getting the levels right, making sure that you want to knock the curbs down into the concrete enough to make sure that they're strong enough for lorries to run over. But if you don't tap them down enough, if the concrete's too high, you can't tap them down. If the concrete's too low, you don't get a good enough bed.
So we've actually, there'll be a really good concrete base underneath it. in a couple of minutes he'll disappear with that round the corner and there'll be no noise of the digger running, will it? Evan's on the digger, look.
Where are we? The string line will go between all these pen marks that we've done down here. And that in theory should be one consistent height all the way down. Time will tell.
Got a high precision tool here.
Wow, it's amazing.
So the permeable paving goes this side and it's 80mm deep. So we don't want this concrete to be any higher than 80mm, so that is 80mm. So we've bought a new tamp here, screening tamp, which is a vibrating tamp that you pull back. That's right, isn't it?
That's it, yep, absolutely.
For screening off the concrete. And Michael here from, what's your company called?
I'm Michael from GCS Machinery.
Has come to deliver it himself.
I've come to deliver it, and little did I know that this gentleman here has a YouTube channel.
We do. So, no pressure.
No pressure at all.
So hopefully we'll get plenty of footage of you using it.
Hopefully, but if all the viewers out there watching and want to come, we've got our own YouTube channel, GCS Machinery. Please come and click and subscribe. I might actually use it time for an advert, mightn't I?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, up, Bev.
Hello, mate. How are you?
How's it going?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, getting there. Yeah, getting there. We're on to concreting the service yard now. This bit out the front of building one. So we've done all the sub base stuff, which you've already seen. Compacted all that down to the right height. So please tell me you got Ryan tripping over. That was absolutely
I think I
perfect.
might have.
Absolutely perfect. Sub base is all laid and compacted. Got 350mm of sub base, and then on top of there we're going to have 210mm of concrete. So it's built up in layers, and we've graded it all off using the iDig. So we've got a fall from the finished floor level of the building, which is 36 metres above sea level. Falls 200mm down towards the permeable bit of the service yard. So all this is impermeable. It's all concrete, and then that'll spill onto the permeable section, and then it will drain out off site. So on here we've got some DPM, some membrane, damp proof membrane, 1200 gauge membrane, and then on top of that sits all this reinforcement. So because it's a service yard where we're going to have Arctics, and we're going to have got 7.5 tonners, we've got all sorts of vehicles from the John Deere JIT fleet running up and down here all the time, so it needs to be reinforced. So we've got this mesh that's got to go down. It's called, the spec is A252, which I think relates to the thickness and the sort of density of the squares in between and the overlaps. So we've got 2 layers of that mesh. We've got one layer that sits 50mm above the sub base, above the membrane. And in order to space it off, you use these little things, these little chairs, or castles I think they're called. But they're plastic, these ones, and I've never used them. The guys have used them before, but I think they've used more sturdy ones. I've ordered these and they might be a bit crap. So I'm hoping that we're going to put them down and they're not just going to splatter. But yeah, so these sit these little grey plastic castles, they sit the mesh off the ground 50mm. And then in between the mesh, we've got these traditional chairs which sit 105mm. So we've got 105mm gap in between the 2 layers, and then you put a further layer of mesh on top. And you have to tie everything together to make sure that it doesn't wobble around. So we bought this tie gun, which I've already scratched up. They're an absolute fortune for what they are, really. I can't quite believe it, but they are really, really good bits of kit. Usually you'd have these pull ties, and you have a sort of hook, almost like, I think it's like a crochet hook type thing, where you put the ties on and they've already got a loop in, and you pull them and then they shoot down and tie the rebar together, but it's quite a manual process. Whereas with this, you can literally just put this sort of little beak thing, in and around your mesh and your rebar, pull the trigger and it just ties it up nicely like that. So really, really useful bit of kit, but mega expensive. But if you're doing loads and loads of reinforcement, it's definitely worth it. Saves a fortune in labour and time and things like that. So this is one layer of mesh, and we've got like 150 to do or something, and this is the first one, so it's been pretty slow, just trying to work out exactly how I'm going to do it. But yeah, we're going to get that laid down, and then that'll be one bay prepped. So we're doing these 6 metre by 9 metre bays, and then in between the bays we've got these expansion joints, these isolation joints, and that allows the concrete to move, which sounds weird. You know, you put all this reinforcement in, you think, oh, you want it to be really rigid, but naturally wherever there's a join, the concrete's going to want to crack. So you put these, there's a couple of ways of doing it. So every other bay we've got these dowel joints, which I can actually show you. We've got some over here. So these expansion dowels, so they come in 2 parts. You've got the sleeve and the dowel, so they're 20mm in diameter, and then they're, what's that, 400mm, something like that, 400mm long. And the idea is you put that on there like that, and that sits in between the layers of concrete. I think you're meant to leave the sort of sleeve out ever so slightly, and that gives it room to move, expand and contract, so that you don't end up with cracks. And then on the top, you actually saw a joint out of the top of the concrete, and then you fill that with a sort of silicone mastic. So it just gives the concrete a little bit of a chance to expand and contract without cracking the whole slab on top. And then in between the base, there's quite a lot going on here. We've got a real specific construction detail that we've been issued. So we're going to be putting this foam in between, and that essentially does the same thing, but the foam goes all the way to the bottom of the concrete. So it leaves all the way down to the bottom of where the membrane is. It leaves that room again for it to expand and contract between the 2 slabs.
All right, mate. I thought you'd fixed this morning. I thought you'd fixed it this morning.
I had.
Same thing?
No, so this morning, believe it or not, the back cover of the flashing light, the shield, fell off and shorted out, and then it was shorting it out, made it cut out, and then this afternoon it stopped. There's a proximity switch that sits in here that activates when you move the lever, and it's been poorly adjusted by whoever owned the machine before or whoever worked on the machine before, and the handle's been smashing into it and has knackered it. So I'm not despondent, it's just bloody hell. I think I'll be Yeah. Maybe we should start a new YouTube channel, Plant Fitter. Oh, sorry, not swearing, are we? Oh dear, what a chore. Yeah, so.
God's work, mate.
But it works now. I've bypassed it. No, it will actually. It will vibrate. So.
You're quite good at bypassing stuff when it goes wrong. There's a theme.
Well, it's probably a safety feature that I'll get in trouble for bypassing, but there you go. I've been in the office, so I'm not feeling in the best of moods at the moment. It's going to take me about 20 minutes or so to...
And I've got to work with him for the afternoon, so that's good, isn't it?
to come back to building site Ollie as opposed to
It's the best version of you.
looking at figures.
Could we have fun YouTube, Ollie?
No.
How about fun YouTube Evan?
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's as good as you're going to get. So we're offloading all of that, which is the steel for the bit. Well, it is the building. That's the steel portal frame. So we had it all shot blasted and painted.
Wrecked.
He's back.
If you drop them silver bars out, them side bars, and I'll get the
Don't drop any, Ollie. This is painted, this stuff.
telehandler of the. I'm not there yet. Might drop it. Oh.
Hey up.
Hey up! Are you winning?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's great. That's as much positivity as you're going to get out of me. No, it is genuinely all right. We messed around a bit earlier, thinking that we'd have a bit more time than we've got, but we haven't. So they're coming tomorrow to pick up these trailers.
Yeah.
Because they're going to start charging us
Oh, yeah.
for rentals, because I told them that we'd have it offloaded, but I didn't realise that it was quite as pressing as it is.
Yeah, sure.
And understandably, the transport company want the trailers back. So we've got to offload all the steel.
I haven't missed any bits being dropped, have I?
No. No, it's all right. We've got, I've got a Sharpie, so I'll just... No, he's done really, really well, because he's taken a bit of trial and error.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you slinging some and...
Yeah, first off we tried with with just the forks.
Yeah.
And it was just slipping all over the shop.
Wow.
on the bigger ones.
Wow.
Then we tried with the straps. Just want that timber.
Any learnings of the day, Mr. Blaine?
It always takes longer to load a lorry full of building than it does once you don't get taken out. Anything?
I've been full of positivity. That's Luke.
Yeah.
like Laurel and Hardy, aren't we? Or yin and yang.
Yeah.
Either way or the other, one way or the other. I want to put my forks on my digger and my tilt rotator because I think I'd just pick them up and turn them around and put them straight on that pile.
Oh yeah.
Now you're doing that thing where you have to rub your belly and pat your head. That's what it's a bit like trying to do this with a tilt rotator. It's a good idea to do what we're doing because this stuff's so hard to handle anyway. But it is really difficult. You've got to be so careful and you can really quite quickly drop them, which I'm not doing. Hopefully not anyway. So I ain't got that many more to pull off really, to be honest. So it's late, trying to get it done. You know, when you promise to do something by a certain point and then time catches up on you. So yeah.
Well done. Smashing it, mate.
There we go.
So I've got 150 tons of Type 1 coming in an hour, and I've got to get it all graded and rolled, levelled, compacted, ready for concrete coming at 12, which is in an hour and 15 minutes. So a lot going on. Got to get the concrete lorry to back up here to pour into this first bay, but it just never ever goes to like the way you want it to, ever. I mean, we always end up figuring it out, but it was also not meant to be raining now, and it is now raining, so it's just all going, I don't want to say wrong, but it's not going right, so, but he'll be fine. Ollie's walking over and he looks angry, so I need to go, but see you in a bit.
Oh, what the? Whoa, no.
Whoa, stop.
Can't have that. Can't have lump.
How come this keeps happening? Is it because they're not far away enough and it's not
Yes.
being mixed for long enough?
Because the physical mixing is done in the cement mixer.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So normally it would be 10, 15, 20 minutes before it gets to
Yeah.
a job site. It's only just rolling around here. Probably only on tick over, it goes faster the higher the revs are.
Yeah.
So when you're doing, you're travelling down the road, it's doing that sort of speed when you're travelling.
Yeah.
Getting mixed up all the time. Okay, everybody, are we ready? Slowing to the left carefully. So I'm currently floating the top off. So we've used the vibrating tamp to level it, bring all the fat and the concrete to the top. Just basically like cement and water to the top. And then this is the jumbo float. And basically it works just in the same way as you've seen people with a trowel and a float. I am just smoothing the very top of the concrete with this, just getting the last few imperfections out. And then in a second, I'm going to flip that brush down, and that brush will then brush the top of the concrete and create a non-slip finish at the very top. And then, as they say in the trade, you're all gravy, baby. So this might look a little bit rough at the moment, but as you keep working it, it just gets better and better, basically. And with all things concreting generally, it's all about timing. So leave it too long, it goes off, you're knackered. So it's all about getting the sweet spot when, like it is now, look, if you see, it's going off, but it's not gone off, so I can still affect surface. And Ryan doesn't know this, but in a minute he's going to help me. Help, mate?
Oh, I can have to...
Yes, please. I don't know if you can actually see this on the camera, but the actual head turns out, look, and that picks that angle up, and you can see how that's then pulling back. Across that. When we talk about the fat, we're actually talking about the sand and cement that floats to the top, the high water content floats to the top. It creates like a cream. You can see over there on the top. But that is actually how you get a really hard finish. That dries really, really hard. And that's what helps you get a frost protected finish, which is what we want, because obviously this is outside in the yard. And this needs to be frost resistant. So welcome, and here we are on a Thursday afternoon, glorious sunshine after a week of quite frankly terrible weather. And this is our first completed slab of 9 to go down the front of building 1. This is going to create the loading bay area for building 1. We have, as I'm sure you will have already seen, extensively levelled and whacked type 1 down as a sub base, 350 mil of type 1, about 400 tonnes in total. And then on top of that, we've got this DPM reinforcing, 2 layers of reinforcing, which Evan has so eloquently told you about. And then we've concreted. We concreted yesterday this one, today that one. We've got a brush finish with a round troweled edge. The particularly observant viewer may notice that this is in fact on an angle, and there is a fall on this. So 200 mil fall from that kerb edge there to where the line of the building is. It's 1.66 degrees, which we set up on our laser actually, so you can set the fall up. So there's actually an angle. That is to allow for all rainwater that lands on this will flow off over that kerb and then into our attenuation that is going to be in there. Luke's asked me why the concrete doesn't just run down to the end and spill over the end, and that's because the concrete is stiffer than water or anything like that, and the sub base matches that, if that makes sense. So the whole thing is set like that. That's also why you will notice when we're using this vibrating tamp, we tend to pull uphill, which helps stop it all just slumping and running down. So these are rebar dowel bars, and they're going to tie into the next slab. So basically, the reason we do this one, then we've done that one, and then you basically shutter across here, put the reinforcing, DPM in it, and then pour the concrete in the middle, so you've already got a ready bay. Some people may say that we're only doing little bays, why aren't you doing great big ones? That's because we're only a little team, there's 5 of us, and we want to try and balance the, you know, the high quality that we want to achieve with what's actually capable of doing with just 5 people. We've covered this one up because if it rains it can knacker it, basically. And the weather has been so unpredictable, given that it's blue skies and the sun's out at the moment, but it did come over really overcast. It never ceases to amaze me how when you set off on a project of this size, you just can't allow for everything. Factors, you know, move and change, and the weather is one that is, you know, constant and constantly throwing new ways to, you know, mess things up, make things more expensive, make things more difficult. We've had to completely change the way we've been attacking things and doing things just because it started raining. It's amazing that, you know, Mother Nature should change that. But we're evolving and we're adapting, and the people around us are wonderful and helping us do that. So, yeah. I think a key thing in life is to make sure that people you're working with are on the same wavelength and are trying to achieve the same thing.
Here we have a very, very happy Evan Lark driving a roller. Inside every grown-up is a child
I feel like he's coming for
enjoying plant. Giving us a side eye look.
Don't stop smiling now.
We were just saying how much you look like you were enjoying yourself. No, you're smiling. That was the difference, I think.
This one's gone really well, really happy with it, but the second one that we did is even better. It's all protected under that polythene sheet, but it'll just keep getting better and better as we go along. So yeah, I mean, that's the kind of the story of the whole project, really, that it's all just going to get better as we go. And we were just saying earlier, weren't we, that building 2 is going to be, hopefully, miles better than building 1. So that makes it sound like building 1's going to be rubbish, but it's not. It's going to be great. But yeah, the learning curve that we're on is really sharp. So yeah, really happy. But we've got to get this all rolled and compacted, ready for the cherry pickers on Monday, because we're putting the steel up. So off we go.
Next time on Blake Builds.
Next time on Blake Builds, you will see an erection of a building. So next week we're going to put all the stanchions up, and hopefully the main frame of building 1 is going to be up. We're currently getting the building, the sub base ready so that we can run all the mutes on it, the cherry pickers to enable us to do that, and we're going to capture all that. It's been something that I've been waiting for so long, and me and Evan were saying yesterday we're really excited for next week. Never been so excited for a week of work in our lives, I don't think, to actually finally get out the ground. It feels like we've been in the ground for years, and we have literally been in the ground over a year. So yeah, it's going to be good. Hope to see you there.
Blake builds, every day's a school day, and that's okay.